Casual here. I put out a video on this build prior to the New Horizon update. Back then it was clear that it was the meta build for Devastators, but how would it fare with the new harder content? Well, after a couple of improvements, I think that this is the best build of any class for New Horizon. And to demonstrate this, I will be showing content of it easily tackling the Shaman Warlord fight from the Wellspring and the Realm of Fear boss fight, the hardest solo fight in the game. Let's get into it. We all know how good the Seismic Commander gear set is, with its damage bonus to enemies afflicted with bleed, which is applied through Earthquake and buffed to 90% by Tainted Blood and Bloody Boost. Earthquake can be used twice through the mod Second Quake, and can hit at long distances due to Earth's legacy, making it easy to apply bleed to every enemy in sight. The damage that Earthquake does is increased by Earth's heritage, while the damage of bleed is buffed by Bloodbath. But the biggest boost to your overall damage comes from the mod Despair, which can be found on the Marshal's foot gear. This doubles your Anomaly damage, and because we are running double jump on our gravity lead, we can apply this twice to double it up again. You do big damage by applying bleed with Earthquake, using Gravity Leap twice, and then popping your Moaning Winds Radiation Splashed Nuke. I have hit for nearly 5 million of damage using this technique, which puts a nice dent into even the toughest enemies. The way to think about the Earthquake and Gravity Leap skills in this build is they are set up for your damage, rather than the damage themselves. Prior to New Horizon and the introduction of a global cooldown, this meta build was running multiple Moaning Winds, allowing you to unload a ton of damage by cycling through your weapons. Now this is not possible. I am using Strap Grenade and Opening Shot on the Juggler. Fire one shot for a base 500,000 damage, which scales up with your damage and Anomaly buffs, and then reload. Because the reload speed of the Juggler is 1.5 seconds, you'll be ready to go again immediately the animation is finished. For my final three mods, I'm running Parasimulation, Captain Hunter and Human Comet. Parasimulation works incredibly well for the new content due to the number of elite enemies, which also benefits Captain Hunter. You could also use Unstoppable Force, but increases to your base Anomaly power are always better than percentage increases, as they benefit from all of the Anomaly power buffs in your class tree and your other mods. So try to use mods with that first. Because your big damage is coming from the mods on your weapons, it is better to mod Captain Hunter than say Ground Crush. An additional 25% damage to elites adds around 1 million damage to your Moaning Winds Radiation Splash Nuke, which far outweighs the additional damage you would get from Earthquake. Saying that, I would like to swap out Human Comet for Ground Crush or even Extra Quake, as Earthquake typically hits more enemies and would also benefit from the Earth's Heritage buff. It is not a big issue on the build, but would be the optimal setup. The ideal stats for this build is Anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and one from status power, which buffs bleed damage or skill life leech. Not that you really need much additional healing, as the bottom branch of the Devastator's class tree includes massive survivability through Protected by the Anomaly, Skill Sentry and Blood Donation on top of the Devastator's high armor and health. Without any other survivability mods or buffs, your base physical damage reduction is at 75%, and Skill Sentry takes this to the cap and your resistance to 20%. Once you have applied bleed to multiple enemies, the healing over time you're getting means you have to try really hard to die. Buffs to your Anomaly power picked up through the usual 10% class nodes, and also Paladin, which is activated by Reflect Bullets. This skill not only provides you with 100% damage mitigation against projectiles, staggers melee attackers, it is also incredibly versatile, as you can toggle it on and off again to activate the Paladin buff, and its cooldown is reduced by up to 90%, meaning it is always ready to go. All of the cooldowns that you need for your skills, Endless Tremors, Unending Watch and Perpetual Motion, are easy to pick up as you go through the class tree. Likewise, buffs to your Resistance Piercing are also easily picked up, and I think are essential given that all of your damage is Anomaly damage. These also make Unstoppable Force a viable option in your build. Finally, pick up Executioner, which is a great way to finish off any enemy. The higher density of enemies in New Horizon actually makes this build even more effective through the buff to Anomaly power from Parasimulation and the healing you get from bleed damage. I didn't play that well in the two fights I'm showing, but I never felt that I was going to go down. So far, this is the most all-round build I have played in New Horizon, with excellent damage output and survivability. It allows you to take on the hardest challenges with ease. Until next time, casual out.